And this is how it's going to be. We will shut you down. We will cite you. And if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail. Period. There should be nothing unambiguous about that. Don't make us treat you like a criminal. But if you act like a criminal and you violate the law and you refuse to do what is necessary to save lives in the city in the middle of a pandemic, we will take you to jail, period.
What you think we are? Do you think we knew of those things? Do you think we wanted to murder women and children? Do you believe that? Do you?
Mrs. Berthold, I don't know what to believe.
Good God, we're sitting here drinking. How could you think that we knew? We did not know. We did not know.
One of the enduring mysteries of World War II, if mystery is the correct word, is how it could have happened. How could the German people have stood by while the Nazi demon seized power and then rampaged its evil? Surely, if the German people had known, they would have risen up against the atrocities. Surely no decent people could have been complicit in that government's crimes. Sadly, the hard fact is that the German people lied to themselves that they did not know. The reality is too horrible for them to bear. The reality is that the German people were weak and actively participated in the illegal and immoral programs of the dictatorship. The harder fact is that the German people facilitated the Nazi regime every bit as much as we are facilitating our government's abuses. We are complicit in and are therefore encouraging our government's flagrant constitutional violations when we comply with the many COVID edicts. These edicts are seemingly benign, but they are idiotic and unscientific, and they are ultimately anti-American and malicious. Slice and dice this any way you want. It is not normal to set up a picnic table in the street when there is perfectly usable restaurant space 5 steps away. We haven't enacted National Socialism, at least not in name, but we are acceding to a totalitarianism every bit as wicked as the German model. We aren't tattooing numbers on people, but we are assigning everyone a computer code. We aren't using the specific IBM system the Nazis used to keep track of the German subjects, but we are using new software from IBM to track and trace our people. We don't have to compare the 2 war machines and their torture programs. We don't have to compare Hitler's Gestapo with our militarized secret police and the spying on everyone, manufacturing crimes, abusing terrorism laws, and disappearing people into a vast and inhumane prison system. There was a time when Mussolini was the toast of the town for the Italian miracle. He had the trains running on time and no one was on strike. The intelligentsia demanded to know his secrets. He published his theories in the Doctrine of Fascism. Mussolini argued that the best form of government disavows democracy. He argued that the best form of government stressed quality over quantity, and this quality was expressed through the conscience and will of the few. He perverted Darwin's research and argued essentially that the best form of government is one which is captured by and fosters the rich and powerful, because they have proven to be the fittest of the species by having risen to the top of humanity. Everyone else must get in line like soldiers in an army who are stronger together than alone. Mussolini called his form of government fascism and insisted that it works only when the state is totalitarian and is the supreme authority in all matters. And so it is with us. Our government is wholly captured by concentrated corporate financial power. And we have exactly the result which history instructs us to have expected. We have become the monster. We are literally in the exact same place where the Nazis were. Doctors and judges are ordering that human beings submit to medical experimentation under the most specious legal authorities. We can tell ourselves whatever we must to avoid facing the horror that we have betrayed the Founding Fathers, and that we and we alone are responsible for the rampaging evil of this neo-fascist regime. But we can't say that we don't know. We do know. In America's founding documents, we recognize that we are endowed by God with unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that the government draws its power from the consent of the people. To ensure that there be no misconstruction or abuse of power, when we enacted our Constitution, we also enacted a Bill of Rights. This is classical liberalism. The true liberal, by definition, is a man who believes in liberty. The burden of proof for any restriction or prohibition is on those who are against liberty, who are against freedom. Freedom is not the extreme position. It is man's natural state. These days, however, there is a significant portion of the public which has come to view the Bill of Rights as a Bill of Privileges, or perhaps a Bill of Rights but only when it suits them. The modern-day dictators are quite pleased to have a choir of these illiterate imbeciles to whom to preach.
We put together a good plan for how we were going to try and dampen down the spread of infection early on, thinking that that was accepted by everybody, and then the next day, the president saying, free Michigan, free Virginia. I didn't quite understand what the purpose of that was, except to put this misplaced perception about people's individual right to make a decision that supersedes the societal safety. That, to me, is one of the things that I think went awry in all of this.